So, here's the situation. You've woken up and realized that you have a thing for thighs. Firstly, thank you for acquiring actual taste, and secondly, your newfound love of thighs has possessed you to run Lyn in FE Heroes. But there's just one problem. You are an uncultured pagan who has only recently ascended, and you know nothing about building units, what teams to make, or even if you could plow Lyn's thighs like your grandpa plows his farm. Well, fear not, because I, Pontiff Zerk of the Church of Thighs, have come to save your pagan soul from the domination of shitty builds. I will teach you about all 3 Lyns in Fire Emblem Heroes, what kind of stats they have, what their default kits look like, and my personal favorite build for them. And finally, their teammates and common counters. So strap in, my fledgling thigh priests and priestesses, as I enlighten you on the art of using our golden thigh goddess's power. Let's start with standard Lyn. Lyn was a focus on the very first banner during the initial launch of Fire Emblem Heroes. In the beginning, she was a fairly high-tier red unit, but has since become possibly the game's biggest victim of power creep, especially with how many great units have been released since launch in the red color category. Lyn suffers from what I like to call Ursula syndrome, but we'll get to what that means once we go over her default kit. Let's start with her stats. Vanilla Lyn has a slightly below average base attack of 28 when neutral, making high damage something she'll definitely struggle with unless you're like me and manage to pull a plus attack Lyn. Her speed is her main asset, however. At 37 speed neutral, she is well above the meta average of 31 and will be doubling a lot of units. Her HP is also notable in the fact that even with the plus HP IV, Lyn can reach Vantage 3 or Desperation 3 range with only a single use of Ardent Sacrifice. The last stat I feel I should mention is resistance, which is abnormally high, especially for a unit without distant counter. Her defense, however, is basically worthless, and I recommend using that as your dump stat. As for Lyn's default kit, she is pretty underwhelming. Along with Ursula, who has only one skill worth a lot, being Deathblow 3, Lyn is much the same, having only one skill worth a lot, being her weapon. As with Rory and Cordelia, she is one of the few units with access to Gale Force as their special. And while it looks great on paper, Gale Force's 5-turn cooldown is far too demanding, and will likely never proc outside of Tempest Trials, making it at best situational and worst a waste of SP. Her skill Defiant attack is also much the same. While it looks great on paper, the bonus that it gives is that of Hone Skill, meaning that Lyn will not be able to have her attack buffed other than through Spur and Drive skills, which are equally situational in their own right. It does synergize well with her weapon, having the same HP threshold, but as for A-slot skills, there are far better things to spend your SP on. As for a build, this is my personal pick. It helps preserve Lyn's uniqueness as well as giving her a lot of the tools her default kit severely lacked. Her weapon, the Solkati, should remain the same, as Desperation, which is built into the weapon, is a very good skill on her. It also allows her to be the only unit in the game who could run both Desperation and Vantage, which is frankly kinda ridiculous. Ardent Sacrifice as her assist skill allows Lyn to activate Vantage and Desperation safely without having to risk combat. Moonbow should be run as her special, since the low cooldown is a huge step up from Gale Force's huge cooldown. Alternatively, if your Lyn is plus resistance or is running Fury, Iceberg can be run instead, giving her a much more reliable 16 points of damage every time it procs. For her A-slot, Life and Death 3 should be your top priority, as it boosts Lyn's attack considerably and makes her speed absolutely bonkers. With Life and Death 3, Lyn can one-round KO a plus defense Hector with Fortify armor at full health. Fury and Life and Death 2 are also great options as they cost less SP and provide a pretty marginal difference, though personally I'd say Life and Death 2 is the best option if you're on a budget. For her B-slot, Vantage is preferred, as it allows her to get more enemy phase kills and works well with her low HP and an Ardent Sacrifice combo. Her C-slot is the least important. Her default Swear Speed can work fine, but Threatened Defense is an equally viable option as well, especially if she's struggling to get a lot of damage in. For teammates, it's best to pack a Blue Mage as well as some kind of check for bulky lance units, such as Camus or Effie. Lyn's low attack can cripple her against these units, with opposing Blue Mages who can hit her from a distance being the bane of Lyn's everywhere. Having a viable answer to these units who can easily check Lyn is a very important thing when deciding on basic Lyn as your red slot pick. Moving on, we have Bride Lyn, my favorite useless unit in Heroes. Look, Bride Lyn is not good. Though to be fair, every staff user who isn't named Jenny is bad. Bride Lyn, however, is a badge of honor. A badge of honor that you survived colorless hell and didn't get Bride Cordelia. But Bride Lyn is a worthy trophy nonetheless. Wait, trophy? She's in a wedding dress. Trophy wife. Fuck it, I quit. Bride Lyn's stat spread is nothing special. Her HP is pretty average, but it is slightly higher than her standard counterpart. However, I'm far more concerned about how in a full wedding gown, Lyn has a less defense and resistance than she does while wearing a cloak and a complete lack of pants, possibly even less. Her attack is just as underwhelming as vanilla Lyn, tying her at base 28, and her only plus is her above average speed stat of 34. As for her default kit, her unique staff Candlelight has an interesting effect that can be used to shut down distant counter units, especially when paired with her B-slot skill Dazzling Staff, which makes her poking potential insane. Her assist Rehabilitate is possibly the best healing assist in the game due to how it works, and is especially helpful in Tempest Trials. That mode is where Lyn finds her niche in her bridal gown. Running her outside of Tempest Trials is honestly, I think, a waste of a unit slot, to be honest. But as a Tempest Trial heal bot, Bridal Lyn is a great pick. Since running her outside of Tempest Trials is generally a poor idea, the setup I've created is geared specifically towards the Tempest Trials. Firstly, while Candlelight is fun to mess with, Assault is generally preferred so you can squeeze as much damage out of her as possible. For A slot, Attack plus 3 will also help you get a few more points of damage. Especially when paired with the Sacred Seals of either Attack plus 1 or Speed plus 1, Lyn can easily deal around 16 to 20 damage if she doubles her opponent. 16 damage is monstrous on a staff unit, I assure you. As for her B slot, Dazzling Staff helps keep her alive in consecutive matches a lot longer since she can poke units without the fear of taking damage. Wrathful Staff can be used as well, but it's very expensive, requiring a 5-star Jenny and a boatload of SP. For her C slot, Hone Attack 3 is a great idea, as with her special Swift Winds Balm, boosting all of your allies' speed, she can grant attack and speed plus 4 to any unit on the field, provided her special procs that same turn. As for her teammates' encounters, I think this image speaks for itself, so let's take the time to admire it, shall we? Alright, enough of that. Let's get to why you're really here. That song, if you're wondering, is called Looka Bomba by GoTo. I feel the lyrics perfectly encapsulate the absolute insanity that is Brave Lyn. Brave Lyn is, in my opinion, the best unit in Heroes, and I think just looking at her stats, it's honestly pretty easy to see why. Her attack at a respectable base 33 is 1 point higher than both Camus and Xander, two of the best units in the game. At base 35 speed, she outpaces most common meta units and will double them quite easily. Her resistance is on par with her base game counterpart, meaning she can run Iceberg if the one you pull is plus resistance. Her defense and HP, however, are pretty abysmal, and these are likely done to help balance her out. And Brave Lyn, due to this, will have a hard time taking any kind of physical hit. Thankfully, however, her default kit makes up for a lot of her shortcomings and makes what she does best perform even better. Her bow, Milagir, which, fun fact, is the bow of Hanan, one of Alib's 8 legends and the founder of Sakai. It is downright busted. With speed plus 3 built into it, even a neutral IV Lyn will cap at 38 speed, further boosted by her A-slot skill of Swift Sparrow, giving her a grand total of 42 speed when she initiates attack. Milagir's secondary effect is where Lyn's anti-meta capabilities really start to shine, as by ignoring rally and fortify skills on magic users, Lyn soft counters blade tomes, and with her respectable resistance I mentioned earlier, she can easily kill them before they start to run amok. Her B-slot skill, Sakei's Blessing, seems useless on an archer until you remember how oversaturated units like Ike, Hector, Camus, and Xander are in the arena. Sakei's Blessing outright ignores distant counter, Pairing this with her high movement, Lyn can one-round KO Ryoma and Ike, and with a bit of buffing she can even easily dispose of Xander, Camus, and Hector. Her C-slot skill, Attack Smoke 3, inflicts attack -7 on units in a similar range to Savage Blow. This can cripple offensive threats and even allows Lyn to take physical hits a little bit better. While I'm disappointed that it can't be Defense Smoke instead, the inevitability of such a skill being released down the road is something you may want to save your SP for. Otherwise, her default kit is an amazing option and will do just fine for you without even having to break into skill inheritance at all. As for my suggested build. Wait, hold on, how come the slide didn't change?
So clumsy.
What do you mean? It looks the exact same.
Stop fooling about.
Wait. Damn it, you did change the slide.
Serves you right.
All joking aside, Lyn's default kit is honestly her best build. For the sake of argument, here is the offensive matchup of Bridal Cordelia with Life and Death 3, Desperation 3, and Brave Bow Plus. And here is the matchup chart of a vanilla Brave Lyn who has Attack +1 as her Sacred Seal and is under the effects of Hone Cavalry. With a single buff, a vanilla toolkit outperforms the best skill inheritance set in the game. If that doesn't tell you how busted Brave Lyn is, I don't know what will. If you are wondering, however, I'll put some alternative skill inheritance options on the screen. You can pause them and read them if you wish, but the only one I'll really acknowledge is Reposition as an assist skill. It's great to have, but not necessary. For teammates, having units with Hone Cavalry and Fortify Cavalry are pretty essential in turning Lyn into a complete monster. Her main counters in this regard are Triangle Adept Raven Tome users, who Lyn cannot check due to having B-slot options that are far more valuable than Cancel Affinity. As such, green and blue mage checks are a very good idea to keep on hand when you're running Brave Lyn on your arena teams. Finally, having poking units to safely weaken opponents that Brave Lyn may leave on low HP will increase her performance drastically. Alternatively, dancers can perform this task well and even allow Lyn to get multiple kills in the same turn. A good free-to-play team surrounding Brave Lyn can easily be comprised of Olivia, Camus with Hone Cavalry inherited from a free-to-play Gunter, and Cecilia with Quick Riposte from a free-to-play Tsubaki. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, why not subscribe? I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more unit reviews like this in the future, such as maybe one on all 4 Lucinas and heroes, I'd be happy to help if you let me know down in the comments. But if you are looking for unit reviews in the nearer future, I would recommend hopping over to Phoenix Master 1's channel. He does a lot of videos like this, and he goes a lot more in depth than I do here. He has taught me so much about how Heroes works, and I recommend giving him a watch if you haven't already. Anyways, I have been ZerkMonsterHunter 4. Thank you for watching, and no matter what Lyn you end up summoning, as always, happy hunting.